and gentlemen, I take pride in introducing the greatest show on earth.
Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Gordon, and welcome to the Uncle Floyd podcast number 72. Right now, it's about 3:30 in the afternoon on Friday, May 8th, 2026, and I'm sitting in my studio getting ready to answer a bunch of your questions that came by email. If you'd like to get some questions in for next week, just please email them to ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. That's ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. And I'll answer them like I'm going to answer these right now. So let's listen to the Vivino Brothers Band finishing up the Uncle Floyd Show theme, and we'll get right to it. Okay, we got quite a few questions here, and we're going to answer them today. Finish off later at the end of the show with some music by Uncle Floyd. We got a couple of nice comments. One from Marie Francis. Nice note she sent. Very, very nice about Uncle Floyd, how she's sorry that he passed. And another great note from Mike Razzo from the Film Photography Podcast. Very interesting. If you're into taking pictures and film, actual film cameras rather than digital cameras, it's a good podcast to listen to. You can find it at filmphotographypodcast.podbean.com. So they're on the same service that we're on. And I'm glad to see him here. So thank you for your kind comments, Mike, and I appreciate it. And I hope to run into you sometime soon, because we've had lunch and done a few things together. Known Mike for a while. From Stephen Gallo of Brooklyn, New York. I'm a lifetime Godzilla fan and always enjoyed seeing Godzilla on the show, whether it was pictures on the wall, toys making an appearance, or the sound effect of his roar being used. In the mid-'80s, I even had the giant 6-foot inflatable Godzilla you guys use sometimes on the show. I was wondering if all the Godzilla on the show was because someone on the cast was a big fan, or if it was just a random cool thing to have lots of Godzilla. Cheers. Muggsy was a big Godzilla fan. I was an odd movie film fan myself, but he was very much into Godzilla and all the Japanese monster movies. Ghidorah and, let's see, what's some of the other ones? Mothra. And he liked that. He had the Godzilla toys, and he used to bring them in and annoy Floyd with them. From Susie Tannenbaum. Tell us about John Pichettino. You guys always talked about him with such warmth. What roles did he fill on the Uncle Floyd Show, and what was he like? Wasn't his voice dubbed over the old theme song? If so, could you please play it? I don't have that on file right now, but I do have it on video. I can't play video here, obviously. What I will do is, well, we have done it in the past on the live stream show at theunclefloydshow.tv. And he was the voice at the beginning of the FloJo sketch. And he was the production director at Channel 68, WBTB. He was there quite a while. When I have Jeff Friedman on the podcast, I'll have him talk about John Pichettino for you, Susie, okay? From Charlotte Quinn. Hi, Scott. I recently saw an AI-generated photo of Uncle Floyd as Floyd the Barber giving Andy Griffith a haircut. I was a fan of the Andy Griffith Show and was wondering if Floyd was. Was he a fan of any old TV shows? Did he even have time to watch TV? Yeah, well, he did watch some TV. When he was living by himself, he didn't even have a TV that was plugged into cable or received any television at all. He watched old DVDs of old TV shows. He watched things like The Andy Griffith Show. He loved the cowboy stuff like The Lone Ranger and Hopalong Cassidy. As a matter of fact, David Bowie and he used to discuss old cowboy TV shows when they would talk on the phone. David Bowie was a fan of the old TV shows as well, the old American TV shows. I guess he watched them a lot when he was a boy in England. That was that. Also, Charlotte says, I was listening to your podcast, and maybe it was a Stage It show, when you told the story of your wife, Diane, and her accidental altercation with Davy Jones' nether region. May we hear more of your wife, Diane's life and times? Well, I won't tell Diane's stories altogether. I'll tell you how we met. Diane was appearing as the lead in a production of Bell, Book, and Candle. She had the Gillian Holroyd part. And they needed someone who was familiar with magic and special effects and stage lighting to design the lighting and do the special effects and actually run the lighting on the show. And the guy who was playing the part of the love interest and I worked together. And so he asked me, he says, hey, can you come with this group that we work with? It was the Joe Jefferson Players out of Ridgewood and Glen Rock, New Jersey. And he said, can you come and do the special effects and stuff? And that's how Diane and I met, working in little theater together. I don't want to tell any other nasty stories about Diane, although after being married 53 years this year, and I have a lot of nasty stories about Diane, which I'm not going to tell. Say thank you, Diane. Maybe I'll get her down here and do some stuff. From Dennis DeLeo. Hey, Scott, you and Floyd always look like you had so much fun with some of the celebrities that visited the show. What can you tell us about the rapport you guys had with the Smothers Brothers, Peter Tork, and Paul Simon? They look like they took the ribbing in good fun. But how were they when the cameras stopped rolling? Well, Paul actually ad-libbed a lot of the stuff that he did in that sketch. He was a lot of fun to work with. He was very serious about what he did. He took it very seriously, but he did the comedy. He ad-libbed the lines about getting back together with Artie and stuff like that. And he wasn't talking about Arnie Delmar. Peter Tork, he was one of the guys. He just came in and he was like one of us. It was a lot of fun working with him, and the experience he had doing the Monkees, it was fun talking to him about that. And the Smothers Brothers, there's an interesting couple of guys. It was such fun meeting them. When they walked in the studio, the first thing Tommy did was he walked around and checked out all the technical. He knew everything that could be done in that studio before we even started working with him. He was in the control rooms, in the audio booth, in everything. And Dick came in and sat down and relaxed and just had a cup of coffee and was discussing it. Tommy was the brains of that outfit. He really knew what was going on. He was an amazing, amazing person to work with. Now, let's see what we have here. From Phil Scardilli, Spotswood, New Jersey. The email subject was Baba Booey. Gary Delabate was a longtime producer for Howard Stern. What was his affiliation with the Uncle Floyd Show and for how long? Was he instrumental in getting Howard to appear on the show? It's interesting you ask that. Howard Stern came and appeared on the show in 1982 when he first came to New York to do his radio show. He was looking to pump up his audience with people he thought would enjoy it, and he figured our audience would enjoy his show. Gary didn't join Howard until 1984, 2 years later. So Gary had nothing to do with Howard Stern getting on the Uncle Floyd Show. Gary didn't graduate college until 1984, and that's when he joined Howard, was right out of college. And we had no affiliation with him at all. Skip might have had some affiliation with him when he was working on the Howard Show. He was a regular on the Howard Stern Show. So when I have Skip on next, maybe we'll ask him about Gary Delabate on Howard Stern. From Tim's Ramsdell of Spring Lake Heights, New Jersey. Hi, Scott. This isn't really a question, but I wonder if you remember this incident. I was lucky enough to attend a taping of a show. I believe it was 1983. I had sent a record of my friend's band, the Swan River Band, and they were invited to be on the show. My friend's custom-made guitar was carved in the shape of a naked woman. They had to put a piece of electrical tape over her breast to be able to show it on TV. Floyd had a few laughs about it. It was a fun day. Tim, that had to have been New Jersey Network if you were an audience member in the show. 1983 would have been New Jersey Network. I would be interested in knowing about what month so I could track down. I probably have a copy of them being on the show. And if I do, I would use it on the live stream on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have a date. Tuesday night at 8, we have a date. And it's at theunclefloydshow.tv. And you can come and watch it. This is from Kevin Dillon. Hi, Scott. I was wondering about a show Muggsy did years ago called The 11th Hour. I bought some videotapes from his website many years ago, and he included some sketches from The 11th Hour with him, Netto, and some other people. Well, Michael Townsend Wright was with him as well. Can you tell us anything about the history of The 11th Hour? I can tell you how it came about. Muggsy was actually working for Pat Marucci at Pat Marucci's studio. That was the OBS studio, Orecchio Broadcasting System in Nutley, New Jersey. And that was when we were on CTN. So Muggsy, since he was there, said to Pat, hey, can I do a show? We can get it on CTN, which he did. He got it on CTN. They did the show by themselves. I had nothing to do with that show. I'd have to get Netto or Michael Wright to come on and talk about that. So that would probably be something to do in the future. On the recent This Was the Uncle Floyd Show webcast from Fred Velez in Red Lion, Pennsylvania, you called the Senior La Basura bullfight sketch at the bottom line yours and Floyd's live masterpiece. No, you used the word masterpiece. I said it was the favorite thing. It was the thing we think we did the best. We were very proud of. What would you consider your second best routine that you and Floyd performed live? Fred, that's an obvious answer. Back when we were doing small kid shows, like in schools and grammar schools and like the Cherry Hill School in River Edge, New Jersey, like any of the church schools, we did a routine called That's Not Funny. The That's Not Funny routine was a very, very slapstick, we're talking seltzer, pie, smack in the face, all that kind of stuff. Routine that he and I did, where I came out as Dr. What's the Matter and interrupted him and saying, hey, you know, I don't know what's wrong with you, Uncle Floyd. You think that's funny? That's not funny. You know it's funny? This is funny. And I would take his hat off and put like a fire helmet on him and then squirt him with seltzer. I may have that on video. And if I do, I'll use it on the live stream. You know, that's the best way to do it. Use it on the live stream and have a lot of fun with it that way. So that's the end of the questions I got. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to end it here. It'll be a shorter than normal one. I need you guys to send questions in to make this a longer podcast. I could talk about things for hours if I know what you want to hear. So send in an email to this show. It's ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. That's ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. Do it right now. Do it while I'm playing the music that Floyd's going to be playing in a second. And I'll tell you about that just before we do it. And This Was the Uncle Floyd Show is the live stream show where I show clips of the old Uncle Floyd Show. I have stuff from 1979 to 1998. 1979 to 1998, I have a whole bunch of stuff. It's about 1,700 hours of Uncle Floyd Show stuff, and I do it every week. Floyd and I started to do it when COVID hit, when Floyd had no other way of making any money at all because all the venues were closed. So we started doing this live stream. And because of the live stream and because you guys love it so much and you want to keep me doing it, I'll keep doing it. I'll do it as long as somebody comes. So that's theunclefloydshow.tv. Every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Every Sunday night at 8, we have a date. And there's a small charge for getting into it, but that helps pay for it. It helps pay for this podcast. It's not cheap to do these things, people. It's amazing how much they actually cost to have a service put this out and store it for you so you can listen to it anytime you want to. And that's why we do it. That's why we have the live stream. The live stream is a lot of fun. I answer questions that get typed into a chat log, and we just laugh. We have a good time to relax and watch old Uncle Floyd Show stuff and laugh. Okay, right now, this is from the Bioya 78 RPM record collection that we did. We did a whole bunch of stuff, and it's me and Floyd. Me and Floyd. Floyd's playing the piano and singing, and I'm playing the drums. And it's a song that Floyd used to love to play all the time, one of his favorites. I'm going to sit right down and write myself a letter. A lever? A lever, I have to flip a lever to make it play. I'm going to sit right down and write myself a letter, played by Uncle Floyd on piano and vocals and me on drums, and take it away, Floyd.
I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter and make believe it came from you. I'm gonna write words oh so sweet, they're gonna knock me off my feet. A lot of kisses at the bottom, I'll be glad I got 'em. I'm gonna smile, I'm gonna say, I hope you're feeling better. And close with love the way I always do. I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter and make believe it came from you. Sit right down and write myself a letter, sweet baby, and make believe it came. Gonna make believe it came. Gonna make believe it came from you.
This program was produced in the studios of Scott Gordon Enterprises, Incorporated in Paramus, New Jersey.